If you're a CS student or a recent grad who feels like you learned a ton but somehow still don't know what the hell you're doing, this video is for you. I'll explain 6 things nobody told you about this degree. The stuff that your professors don't teach you. The stuff that comes through real life experience. I've been through all this stuff and I want to help you out. I'll try and be as real as possible with you. No fluff, no motivation, just the truth about what actually matters and what was a complete waste of time. Let's go. Your professors lied and they knew it. Let's get this straight. Your CS professors weren't teaching you how to be software engineers. They were teaching you how to be them. Researchers. Academics. People who get excited about proofs. And look, I get it. They're playing their own game. Publish or perish, right? All the garbage. But you thought you were learning job skills. Nope, you weren't. You were actually learning how to pass tests designed by people who haven't written production code since JavaScript came out. The thing is, professors aren't engineers. They're professors. They taught you how to solve problems that were already solved in 1973. They taught you how to prove things instead of build things. They taught you to optimize for theoretical perfection in a world that runs on good enough by Friday. And the really messed up part, they know this. They just don't care, because their job isn't to make you employable. Their job is to publish papers and justify their research grants. You were just collateral damage, basically. The reality is that your degree was never about preparing you for work. It was about proving you can suffer through irrelevant bullshit and still show up. Congrats, you passed the hazing ritual. Now forget most of it and learn the actual job. You're not a scientist, you're a plumber. I need you to let go of something. The fantasy where you're some brilliant architect designing elegant systems from scratch, where you're writing clean, beautiful code. Yeah, that's not happening. You know what you actually are? You're a plumber. And the house is already built most of the time. And it's full of shit, literally and metaphorically. Your job is to crawl into the pipes that were installed by Steve, who quit in 2017 and is now finding himself in Thailand, and make the water flow slightly less brown, if you get what I mean. And for the love of God, don't try to refactor it because you think you're smarter than Steve. You're not smarter than Steve. Steve literally left the company in 2017. Steve is smart. Be like Steve. Here's what separates kids from the adults. Kids want to rebuild everything properly, and adults want to go home at 5 p.m. Ship the fix, write the test so it doesn't break again, add a comment that says "I'm sorry" to whoever reads this next, and move on with your life. The reality is that nobody is paying you to write poetry. They're paying you to make the button work. Be a good plumber. The world needs good plumbers. Your code doesn't matter, and neither do you. I know this one is gonna sting, but a pull request you spent 6 hours on, the one where you carefully refactored the error handling and added those beautiful custom exceptions with descriptive names, Azure merged it, deployed it, and nobody noticed. Not because it was bad, but because it was invisible. Which is exactly what good code should be. The code that people notice, it's the code that breaks. The code that makes the site go down at 3 a.m. or the code that somehow charging the customer $47K instead of just 47. Nobody throws a party when the toilets work, but everybody loses their mind when they don't. And here's the part that's really going to mess with you. 6 months from now, someone's going to delete your beautiful code and replace it with something even worse because the product changed direction and none of this matters anyway. So stop attaching your ego to your code, stop fighting in code reviews over variable names, and stop acting like your function is your baby. It's not your baby. It's your job, and your job is temporary. Just like this code base, just like this company. You know what people actually remember? That you were easy to work with, that you didn't make stand-up meetings awkward, that you helped the junior dev without making them feel stupid. The reality is that your code is disposable, but your reputation isn't. So you should invest accordingly. LeetCode, the interview gauntlet. What do I mean by this? Let's talk about the elephant in the room wearing a "I solved medium in 15 minutes" t-shirt. LeetCode is stupid. There, I said it. It has almost nothing to do with real engineering. You will never in your entire career need to reverse a binary tree on a whiteboard. And yet, here we are. People keep telling you to do it, because the people who build the hiring system also think it's stupid. But they don't know what else to do. So they just keep asking you to find 2 numbers that sum to a target. As if that proves that you can architect a distributed system. It's like if the only way to become a chef was to win a hot dog eating contest first. It's completely stupid, totally unfair. But if you want to cook, you better start gobbling those glizzies. So here's what you actually have to do. You game the system. You don't learn LeetCode. You memorize patterns. You do your 30 minutes a day like you're taking vitamins, you know? You get good enough to pass the stupid tests, and then you forget about it. Because the secret nobody tells you, once you get the job, nobody cares. Nobody's going to ask you to implement some stupid algorithm on the job. They're going to ask you why the search bar doesn't work on a mobile. I know it's stupid, it's arbitrary, but you still have to do it. You should treat it like a video game, not like education. Get the high score, get the job, and then you never think about it again. Shipping beats everything. You know what's funny? Computer science students will spend hours and hours watching YouTube tutorials about React. They will take notes, they'll bookmark articles, they'll make even flashcards about the hooks. And their GitHub? Empty, or even worse, full of repos called React Practice and following tutorial that are half finished and abandoned. Meanwhile, some random kid who barely graduated high school has a live app with 200 users. It's ugly as hell and the code is crime against humanity. But it works and people are actually using it. And guess who's getting hired? Not you, note taker. Because here's the thing, nobody gives a shit what you learned. They care what you built. And they especially care what you shipped. Shipping means you dealt with all the annoying parts. Deployment, DNS, that weird bug that only happens on iPhones. Users who do things you never expected, like uploading a 50 megabytes image and wondering why your site crashed. You will learn more from shipping one broken project than from finishing 10 tutorials. But tutorials feel safer, don't they? They give you that little dopamine hit. Ooh, I completed the course. I understand use state now. Cool, so does everyone else who watched the video. You're not special. But you know what actually makes you special? Shipping something that broke, fixing it at 11 PM, and then learning why you should have added input validation in the first place. My advice is that you should stop learning and start shipping. Your portfolio shouldn't be a graveyard of unfinished projects. It should be a trail of embarrassing but at least deployed mistakes that taught you something. Your degree is literally just a checkbox. Alright, so real talk. Your CS degree gets you past the automated resume filter. And that's pretty much about it. That's the whole value. It's a checkbox that says this person probably isn't completely incompetent. It's a ticket to the interview. It's proof that you can tolerate 4 years of theoretical nonsense. But the moment you're in that room, the degree doesn't matter anymore. You know what actually does? Can you talk to humans without being weird? Can you explain technical stuff without being condescending? Can you work on a team without being a pain in the ass? I've seen self-taught developers with no degree that absolutely destroy CS grads in hiring. And do you know why? I actually talked to them and they spent years building instead of studying. They have scars, they have shipped code that broke in production, they have dealt with angry users, they know what matters. Meanwhile, the CS grad is having a meltdown because the codebase doesn't follow solid principles and they cannot compute the time complexity of this one function. Nobody cares, honestly. Does it work? Ship it. Your degree taught you how to think. Great, now do something with it. Look, I'm not saying your degree was worthless. All I'm saying, it was incomplete. It gave you a foundation made of theory and abstractions, but you can't live in a foundation, right? You gotta build a house. And the house is messy. It's full of compromises and shortcuts and code that makes you wanna cry. But it's real, and it works, and people use it. You're not behind because you're not smart enough. You're behind because you are playing the wrong game. The game isn't about knowing more algorithms. It's about shipping more products. The game isn't about writing perfect code. It's about writing code that doesn't make your coworkers want to quit. The game isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the person who gets shit done and doesn't make everything harder. Good news, you can start playing the right game today. Stop refactoring and start shipping. Stop optimizing, start finishing. Stop learning in circles and start building in public. Your CS degree gave you the tools. Now go build something that breaks. Fix it, learn from it, then ship it. And that's how you actually get good. Now get off YouTube and go write some terrible code. You will thank me later.